in the moment and also keep Miami's defensive line in check because they could wreck the entire game for the Bulls.
Beautiful September Saturday, very low humidity, just 83 degrees. We were told there was a chance of rain, but right now things look mighty nice. And welcome to Hard Rock Stadium. Boston College Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion Will Blackman, Wes Bryant. I'm Tom Brenneman, our entire CW crew. USF won the toss, defers to get the football in the second half, so we'll get a look right from the start at Carson Beck and his high-octane Hurricanes offense, and they'll begin this drive at their 25-yard line. 2-0 in his first two starts is this 22-year-old native of Jacksonville, Florida. He started his career at the University of Georgia, did not play much his first couple of years, but then a two-year starter. Threw for over 7,900 yards, 58 touchdowns. You see his numbers so far this year with the Canes. 4 touchdowns. Neither one of these quarterbacks, by the way, has thrown an interception so far this year. Mark Fletcher Jr. in the backfield. Beck going to throw it on first down. Great protection. And the slant to C.J. Daniels. Started his career at Liberty and then at LSU a season ago. And he has been the primary target along with the freshman Malachi Toney for the Hurricanes. First down, they'll hand it off, and Fletcher for a couple of yards. Here are today's Impact Players, brought to you by Old Spice.
Right on cue, we got C.J. Daniels from Miami. So far this season, he's been the ultimate spark plug for this offense. He's got the swagger, the big play mentality, and an NFL pro. Malachi Toney, the other freshman electric player. He's a true freshman who's explosive in and out of his breaks. He's fearless over the middle.
And this Bulls defense has been mighty good these first two games. They only allowed 7 points against Boise State. Held the Florida Gators to just 16. And in trouble is Beck. He's able to get it off complete. Not enough for a first down. But good work there by Beck. Beck is a much bigger man in person than maybe when you see him on TV. He goes 6'4", 225 pounds.
Yes, I remember seeing him in Charlotte walk in the hallway. I said, that's a big quarterback. He is your prototypical pocket passer. NFL caliber arm. He operates the offense precise and he's poised. Yeah, and he's surrounded by great talent with Malachi and CJ.
And this is a monster offensive line. I mean, they're all going anywhere from 310 to 335. 345 for the left tackle, Markel Brown. Fletcher in the backfield, and Beck will keep it himself, and he has the first down across midfield to the 47-yard line.
Now, this is something they have not shown. They've shown a lot of direct runs, but they haven't shown really any QB keeps, QB design runs with Carson, using that big frame to get across and get that first down. But you mentioned the offensive line. Not only are they big, they're very athletic and versatile. They all can interchangeable play guard. Some can play tackle. Some can play center. It's a very, very awesome offensive line.
And that is the question. Can this smaller, they're not small, but smaller defensive front hold up? Great protection. And down the field to the near sideline. Catch is made, and there's that freshman, Malachi Toney. Boy, what a talent he is.
Yeah, Malachi Toney, his whole thing is, yes, he's young, he's a freshman, but he has a professional mentality. He's very mature, he's very grown. Coach Cristobal talked about, it's almost like he's been here for a long time. Only a freshman, he's going to make a lot of plays today.
Cristobal, a former standout player, of course, won a couple of national championships at the U under Jimmy Johnson and then Dennis Erickson. He's gone from 5 wins to 7 wins to 10 wins a season ago. Fletcher off the right side, picks up a couple of yards, wrapped up. We'll be calling the name Josh Seliskar a great deal today. On the other side, boy, what an unbelievable story he is. 41 years old, born in Moscow, Russia, moved to Brooklyn at 7. finished high school in Columbus, Ohio, and that's where he got his start as a student under the former great Ohio State coach Jim Tressel in Buckeye land. Again, all day to throw it. Catches made across the middle.
Again, you saw what the offensive line was doing. Carson got to sit back there, relax, got to scan the field, and again, throwing dimes across the middle. You're going to see a lot of this. This offensive line is outstanding.
That's Tony Johnson. He has not been heard from so far this season. It's enough for a first down inside or right at the 10. We'll call it first and goal for the Canes on this opening drive. Wondered if we would see Jordan Lyle in the starting lineup. And running back, sophomore, actually got the start in the opener against Notre Dame before he hurt his ankle. This is Fletcher. And he breaks a couple of tackles, still on his feet. And is pushed right about the 8-yard line. Gain of 2, second down and goal.
Yeah, around this area, you're going to see a lot of those direct runs, those man runs, those duos straight up the middle and just push the pile. Fletcher, he's a big running back, 6'2", 225, right? So he's definitely going to get some yards and move the pile with those plays.
Rock solid start for Cristobal's Canes on this opening drive, starting from their own 25. And a second down and goal, and they get Fletcher Jr. in the backfield. Beck pump fake.
Back there, Tom. He had all day to scan the field and get back to which could have been his 4th read.
Joshua Moore, just his 4th catch of the year. It's his first touchdown catch of the year. So they went to a couple of guys that have not done much so far in this offense. Moore, Johnson, Tony had a big catch. Daniels did as well. Point after by Carter Davis. The hero against Notre Dame is good. Boy, so many weapons on display from the get-go.
Yeah, Carson Wentz scanning the field, finding his receiver for the touchdown. Right now, Miami's winning 7-0.
Pizza. Order your Marco's Pizza today. And by Drive Time, get approved at drivetime.com. Well, we talked about South Florida trying to become just the 5th team ever in the history of college football to start a season with back-to-back-to-back wins against ranked opponents. And it was Jimmy Johnson's eventual national champion Miami Hurricanes who pulled off the trick most recently, and it's been a while, 1987.
They got to make these adjustments now if they want to make that happen.
Yeah, they fell behind 7-0, you may remember, to Boise State and then ripped off 34 unanswered points. So, I mean, is this the way you wanted to start? Of course not. And now, Byram Brown. He is a 3-year starter, a senior, grew up, went to high school outside of Raleigh, North Carolina. He had an incredible 2023 year. He rushed for over 800, threw for over 3,200. And threw for 26 touchdowns. But then last year in the 4th game of the year, injured his leg. He did not return until the very last game, just a couple of snaps, but off to a big start this year. They'll try it in the air, but this guy can really run. And he slides down after a gain of close to 4. Our impact players brought to you by Old Spice.
Impact players, you got the 2 big receivers for South Florida, Nimrod and Singleton. They're both averaging over 20 yards per catch. And on defense, you got Ruben Bain. He can easily destroy this game. And then in the back end, O.J. Harit, outstanding young quarter, physical, heat-seeking missile in the secondary.
Well, they're marking this at the, is that the 31-yard line? Are they saying he stepped out of bounds? Oh, that looked like, had he stayed inbounds, it would have been enough for a first down. That changes things dramatically. Christian Neptune, the true freshman. put it back in Neptune's hands, and this time he lunges forward enough for a first down.
It's interesting watching both these offenses. They really run the same plays. You get the wide screen, you got the direct runs, but in this case, you got tempo from South Florida, which is going to try to keep them off balance and try to eliminate from some subbing on defense.
Yeah, they run a play every 8 to 11 seconds, and not much more than that. Sort of a wobbler to the near side, and it's incomplete. It looked like Nimrod had a chance to get it, but apparently it hit the turf. Second down and 10.
Yeah, he did a good job getting back to the football. He just has to bring that one in.
Brown has not thrown an interception coming into this game in his last 240 consecutive pass attempts. That goes all the way back to the 2023 season. But can this veteran offensive line, Will Blackman, hold up against his big, powerful Miami defensive front? They pitch it, and up to the 39-yard line, it's Cartavius Norton.
This is what this defense do. These linebackers are sideline to sideline, running and hitting. They told us in practice they condition like that. That's how they play. They play all day long like it's a game, and it transfers into the actual game.
So a third down and 7, trying to convert on a second straight third down. Good protection. And Brown looking for the home run ball, and it's broken up. Frederic, the sophomore who had an excellent freshman season, was a freshman All-American. Brown taking interference. It should have been. That's all the way past interference.
Listen, he does a great job of getting in phase. The fact that he caught up and then looked back, that's exactly why they didn't call it, Tom.
Well, that's an early break for the Canes, it looked like. The native Australian, Chase Leone, off to a great start this season. Man, has he been a weapon in the punt game. Angling towards the sideline, and it will be marked at the 15-yard line. Great start for Beck and the U, leading 7-0. 160 years strong with financial strategies for a more confident future. But the Gramaticas have to be the greatest field goal kicking family of all time, don't they?
The legacy family, Automatica, Gramatica.
And Nico, of course, the game winner in the swamp last weekend to beat the Florida Gators 18-16. Good start for the Canes here today in Miami. A first down run. And still on his feet. Talked about, Will did, how strong and powerful Fletcher Jr. is. He is a junior from right down the road, American Heritage High School in Fort Lauderdale. Had a couple of touchdown rushes for nearly 90 yards in the blowout of Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah, right now this offensive line is doing a great job of resetting the line of scrimmage. You can tell right now in that last play, they're already moving 3 yards down the field, which made it easy for Fletcher to get those nice yards.
False start. Offense number 61. 5-yard penalty. It's still second down.
Tim Hedgepeth, our referee today. Closed captioning for today's game brought to you by Tableau TV. Pay once, watch forever. Welcome all of you around the country. This national telecast on CW Sports. Boy, sometimes you fall into things in life, and they're good things to fall into in life.
Tom will take it. All right, let's enjoy it.
All day, every day. Had a chance to choose this game a couple of weeks back. Who would have thunk it? South Florida would be 2-0, but here they are. Jumping off out of the backfield. Oh, my, what a punishing blow. Delivered right there by Mac Harris. He is the emotional leader of this Bulls defense.
Tom, he's an impact player, and he just made an impact play. That's what I'm talking about right there.
Man, big time hit right there.
Even knocked down his own other player in that.
Yeah, right. Like the split in bowling, right?
Boom, boom.
All right, it'll be a third down. Third down and 4 for the Hurricanes. who hit on their only third down attempt so far today. Easy pitch and catch to Keelan Marion. Transfer senior, came over from BYU after starting his career at UConn.
Yeah, that's a big play for them in this situation. Anywhere from third down to 3 and 6, they like those hitches right there. You'll see him line up. You see Malachi Tony also hitch up right there. Just an easy throw, high percentage completion for Carson Beck right there.
All right, so a first down for the Hurricanes. They lost their top 6 pass catchers from a year ago. They brought in 3 transfers. They've got some very talented freshmen. Look out, Fletcher in the open field. Still on his feet. And he's all the way up to the 47-yard line. Best run of the day for Fletcher, who is their leading rusher so far this early season.
Right now, he has the hot hand. Turning, moving those legs, going right behind that massive offensive line for the first down.
It's a 19-yard run by Fletcher.
Look, they're doing some great blocking on the outside with the receivers. I think Malachi Tony just suplexed somebody.
Off the left hip of Beck is Fletcher. And all day again to throw it and nearly intercepted. And that's something that Beck has not done this season. He's not thrown an interception in his last 185 pass attempts. I thought Beck would be older. It just seems like he's been around, forever.
He has.
Yeah, he has. You're right. He's been in college 6 years. His first 3 in Georgia. He played a total of 11 games. And then over the next 2 years, he made 27 starts, a 24-3 record. He was injured in the SEC championship game, requiring off-season Tommy John elbow surgery. You hear so much of the Tommy John surgery in baseball more than football. And didn't start throwing until fall camp. And just tripped up before he was taking it to the house is Keelan Marion.
So far, this offense has been using everybody. Right now, you got Keelan coming around on the reverse. He does a great job of putting his foot in the ground. No wasted movement, getting upfield. I'm trying to teach my son right there. He's a receiver. I'm trying to teach my son, listen, don't make too many moves. Just get up the field.
That is already 123 yards of offense in this opening quarter for the Hurricanes. Back on the ground once more. And this time the first carry for Shamar Brown. Boy, what a year he had at North Dakota State. Rushed for over 1,100 yards and 15 touchdowns. Shannon Dawson, a native of Clinton, Louisiana, in his 3rd year under Mario Cristobal with a U. That one overthrown. Crowd looking for a flag. That was an uncatchable ball.
Yeah, and it was just great coverage right there, too.
It's Kawan Banks out there in coverage.
Yeah, the ball was thrown over the head. Uncatchable. I'm also going to say great coverage.
Yeah, it was great coverage. You DBs all stick together for crying out loud.
Listen,
you guys never committed a penalty.
Listen, I played both sides of the football, okay? So I'm a fair man here.
Okay.
I'm a fair man here.
All right. All right, it's a big deal early on in this game for South Florida. Needing a stop badly. And Beck with 0 pass rush, and he's looking in the end zone. And it is a touchdown. Joshua Moore. His 2nd touchdown of the game, his 2nd touchdown of the season.
When you give a quarterback like Carson Beck a clean pocket, he's going to make great plays like that.
Well, for the Bulls, this was the last thing in the world they were thinking about. A quick 2-touchdown lead, and the point after is good.
Yeah, he does a great job finding the receiver and the slot fade, making the play right now. Miami's up 14-0.
Marco's is back with unlimited medium one-topping pizzas for just $6.99 each.
Is this thing on?
Not the same.
Listen, I've been talking about the offensive line all day, but Marty Marr, Shamar Brown, he heard me. He said, listen, I'm blocking too. Watch him come over and make this beautiful block that allows Carson Beck to find his receiver deep for the touchdown. Everyone's protecting, Tom. Everybody.
Man, what a start for the Canes.
They're just taking their time, running their plays, going down the field. Coach Dawson is literally just calling whatever he wants. You know, he has that luxury right now with the playmakers, the offensive line, and his NFL quarterback.
Well, for the first time today, a light rain beginning to fall. They were calling for rain pretty much before the weekend began. Had some overnight, but been a mighty nice day. Start the season off right and get game day ready. Scan the QR code below to shop team swag and game day essentials from the CW Football Saturday Shop. Brought to you by Dick's. Every season starts at Dick's.
Yeah, right now, USF is going to have to just run at this defensive line. You're going to have to find some positive plays on the interior, because right now Miami's just so fast on the perimeter.
Alvon Isaac is checked into the backfield. And an easy throw. Reception made by Neptune. So largest deficit through the first 2+ games, which USF has faced. We're only behind 7-0 in the game against Boise State. It was back and forth the entire game against the Gators, and that went way offline. Maybe the ball a little bit slick.
Yeah, they're going fast, and you can tell Miami had a little bit of lining up issues, which is something that they wanted to improve on coming into the season. They talked about, look, we got to communicate. We got to line up fast. You can see right now all the players are talking to each other to help make plays.
Yeah, in fact, last year, every single defensive coach was fired except for future Hall of Famer Jason Taylor. Every one of them after that epic collapse at the end of last year on defense. Rain coming down a little harder now. And taking off and just putting it up there, and the catch is made by Nimrod. And how about that? It looked like a disaster, and that tells you a little bit about what you need to know if you've never seen Byram Brown play quarterback.
Byram stood there, staring down the barrel, took a hit, and let the ball go down the field for a completion. That man is tough.
That is a 52-yard gain. He'll hand it off on first down and get a couple. Boy, did they need that.
Watch him. His eyes are downfield for Byram. He's rotating. He's looking. He knows he's about to get hit, and he took a shot right there in the ribs. Listen, we talked to Coach Golish, and he said that Byram Brown is the heart and beat of South Florida football.
Yep.
And right there was a clear example of what he's willing to do to help his team win a game.
Mentioned a 3-year starter. Even though he missed so much time last year and he lost his footing. Of course, in the college game, unlike the pro game, you know, once you go down, you're down. He could have popped back up at the next level and kept on running.
I love that he took a huge hit the play before. The next play, let's go quarterback run. Why not?
So that brings up a 3rd down and 11. He looked like he had a little bit of running room there. Well, running on 3rd and 11. And just not much there. So this would be roughly a 45, 46-yard field goal attempt by Gramatica if they decide to kick the field goal. The offense is out on the field. And Gramatica standing right next to the coach waiting for the go sign, and he just got it. So they spot it at the 27. So this will be a 45-yard attempt by Nico Gramatica. He has a big leg. He's hit on 5 out of 6 so far this year. And look at this. They had a fake punt, you may remember, and threw it for a touchdown in the game against Boise State.
Hard timeout. Miami, the first of the half.
What do you think they were doing there?
listen, in a game like this, you got to find any way to get some points. So it was interesting right there. I thought they would go and kick it. Maybe that spot is a little too slick and a possibility for Grammatica to not make that field goal. But I love it. Just change them up, get the team to burn a timeout, think about it. But I love it. Endless playbook. Just call everything.
How about the rambling wreck of Georgia Tech? They're going to be ranked this time when we get there next Saturday after stunning the Clemson Tigers on a 55-yard field goal at the buzzer today.
They gave us another one, Tom.
They gave us, that's right. The football gods
Let's go.
are smiling on CW.
Let's go.
All right, here we go. 5 out of 6 this year is Grammatica. Good snap, good hold, and a good kick. This guy is a good field goal kicker, Nico Grammatica. And after the big 50-yard pass completion, it turns into points for the first time today for the South Florida Bulls.
Excellent hold, excellent protection. I mean, probably 5 more yards to spare on that.
Yeah. So now 6 of 7 on the year is Grammatica. And you see, slow starts, nothing new from an offensive standpoint. In fact, the first point scored by the Bulls in the opening quarter this year. Alex Golish, 7-6 in each of his first 2 years as head coach, won bowl games in each of his first 2 years. First coach in program history to ever do that. Before he got here, the season before he got here, they were 1-11. They were 4-29 into 3 years combined before his arrival at back-to-back plus 500 seasons. That one through the end zone. Coming up Saturday, the 27th. NASCAR Xfinity Series playoffs head to Kansas Speedway. Championship dreams on the line. Don't miss a second. NASCAR Xfinity Series playoff racing Saturday, September 27, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, only on the CW. We have just got huge numbers for our Xfinity coverage here on the CW. Our crew does a phenomenal job on that coverage. Can't get much better than that.
Yeah, he's been calm. He's been chilling all day. Offensive line's been protecting. Running backs been blocking. Receivers been catching. He's been throwing to everybody so far on the offense.
Shamar Brown in the backfield, and they're going to, play around with this and see who has a hot hand. Talked about that, yesterday with the Miami offensive coordinator Shannon Dawson. They have Fletcher, who's a junior. They have the transfer sophomore in Brown, and then they have the true sophomore coming off an excellent freshman year in Jordan Lyle.
Yeah, they are running with the hot hand, but in this case, they're just keeping fresh backs.
Yeah,
in this case.
Canes living up to the billing so far. End of the opening quarter on CW Football Saturday. 14-3 Miami.
There's nothing like game. Neighbor, State Farm is there.
Word on the streets, I make it look easy. No flattering, cool, way too easy.
Word on the street is I make it look easy.
I'm actually smooth, it's far too easy.
Word on the street is I make it look easy.
Too easy.
News Nation is here to give you all sides of every story, without the shouting, without the bias, without the division.
News Nation's not going anywhere.
See why America's fastest growing cable network is News Nation. To find News Nation on your screen, go to newsnationnow.com.
You're watching CW Football Saturday, presented by Marco's Pizza. Order your Marco's Pizza today. And by PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. Man, you talk about some of the great players of all time, not just in Miami, but also at the next level. How about those last two guys, Ray Lewis and Ed Reed? Not too bad.
They were on the same team in the NFL. That's what's crazy.
Super Bowl champions under Brian Billick and the Baltimore Ravens. They got a few of them on this team that'll be playing at the next level. That's faux show.
Oh, this on both sides of the football, no question.
Starting with a quarterback. Carson Beck, great start for this offense. And a stop defensively on a first down carry for Shamar Brown. And the numbers overwhelming for Miami. A 14-3 lead in the opening stanza. 160. Look at that yards per completion.
Listen, the time of possession lets you know exactly their philosophy. They want just routine plays. Keep it simple. Be efficient. These routine plays are going to turn into big plays.
And Joshua Moore been pretty quiet so far this season. A couple of touchdown receptions in this game in the opening quarter. Two backs check in. And Beck all day to throw it. Rolling, now in trouble. And down he goes. There is a penalty flag right in the middle of the field. That's Mac Harris, the third, getting over there to make the stop on Beck.
Holding offense number 52. That penalty is declined. It's 4th down.
That's their transfer center from TCU, and they love James Brockermeyer. So that's going to do it. First stop today for the USF Bulls.
Yeah, they did a great job standing up. It's funny, I thought there was going to be a holding in the secondary as well, too. So they're just playing physical. Both defenses are challenging the receivers on the outside, and now South Florida was bringing pressure on that last drive.
Joshua Porter stands back at his own 30-yard line, waiting on the Dylan Joyce punt, another Australian. Good punt and a fair catch right at the 25. So Brown and the Bulls trying to get a little bit closer. They've been bumped around here so far. 14-3 Miami. In-game summary. How about the start for Joshua Moore?
He's been outstanding, man. The whole entire offense. Carson Beck's doing a great job of looking everybody at his receivers, looking off safeties. Both plays he was pump faking, trying to move everybody, striking for 2 touchdowns.
Moore only had 3 catches the entire year without a touchdown.
I'm sorry.
How about our guy?
Get him in the game, coach.
Love it, love it. He figured this is going to be a blowout. He might get some PT today.
Well, it's interesting with the portal in recruiting.
Oh, what's going on here real quick? Is this a weather delay? Was there some lightning? Well, they're pulling both teams off the field. Lightning detected, you see, within 8 miles of the stadium. So they will put a halt to this one in the opening minute 15 of this second quarter.
Welcome to South Florida.
Yep.
It's just a routine day.
Well, when the game began, there was only about a 35% chance of rain between 4 and 6 o'clock. Clearly the rain is here. They weren't calling for thunderstorms, but like you said, I mean, take a look right there. That's Florida in a nutshell. You got blue skies, and then half a mile down the trail, the dark stuff.
Yep.
And I mean, we got it all for you here on the CW. Got the radar here. Hopefully this will be short-lived. So we will take a timeout. 13:45 to go until halftime. A weather delay in Miami. Canes in front 14-3. All right, 14-3. We welcome you back to Hard Rock Stadium. It'll be a first down here in a minute or two. If you weren't with us, Lightning a minute 15 into the second quarter, and a total of 1 hour and 42 minutes pass before we tee it back up again. And that fella had enough. So we're set to go. It'll be first down for the South Florida Bulls. Their 3-year starter, senior quarterback Byram Brown, who has not thrown an interception so far this year. Brown 4 of 7. for 55 yards. Sam Franklin checks into the backfield for the first time, and he'll get the carry. And just not much there. Bain Jr., the first one there to meet him. Boy, what a player he is. Reuben Bain, considered by many to be the best defensive player in the country.
Yeah, he has been outstanding. You saw him on that play right there. You're going to see him everywhere. He had an interception this year already.
Yep. Got a sack, forced a fumble. He's getting chased. This guy can run it now, and he takes a slide head first, does Brown. Out across the 30-yard line. Oh, they're going to spot it inside the 30 where he went into his dive.
Yeah, it's where it started. That's pretty much where they're going to place the football, where he started his actual slide.
Boy, normally that's not his MO to hit the deck.
Well, you don't want to get hit by these guys. You want to hit the deck to get hit by Reuben Bain.
Yeah, good point. All right, so a 3rd down and 6 for the Bulls. Opening possession. Post-hour 42-minute weather delay. 4-man rush. And he's going to take off, and he will get enough for a first down. This guy 2 years ago, when he played in every game as a sophomore, by the way, an 18-year-old sophomore, he ran for over 800 yards.
Yeah, that's the threat of him. When you want to drop in coverage, you're not putting pressure on. He's going to do a great job and use his feet.
Great protection, and looking down the far side, he's got it. And a catch is made by Nimrod inside the 10.
But he also has this. He has that absolute cannon. Does a great job. Nimrod does a great job stacking OJ and making that unbelievable catch. That's a hell of a throw. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, it really is. Chaz Nimrod had 96 receiving yards in the win over Boise State. They put it on the ground, a gain of a couple. They spotted the ball at the 12-yard line. So a 1st and 10. They can get one more first down right at the 2.
We talked about it earlier. This is important for them to get positive plays, to get back on schedule, get back on track. So far, you've seen that.
Second down, they fit the handoff. And the throw is too tall into double coverage with an eye on Nimrod again. 3rd down.
Yeah, it looked like there was some contact in the secondary. That's probably why he saw him pump fake the football. And maybe he was hoping to get the flag there.
We have still not called the name Keyshawn Singleton. He goes 6'5", 215 pounds. He wears number 11. They call him Baby Calvin Johnson. Their leading receiver. From a yardage standpoint coming into this game, that's him at the bottom of your screen. Third down. And that just sails. May have lost a handle on that one.
Yeah, if it's not there, just throw it out of bounds. No need to take a risk there. Great job. Miami defense standing up after giving up a big play. They do a great job of keeping 6 points off the scoreboard.
So out comes Gramatica. He hit from 45 yards out on their last possession. So if he converts here, it'll be back-to-back possessions with putting points on the board if he hits this from 28 yards away, which he does. So now a one-score game. 14-6 Miami with 11:16 to go until halftime. The iconic TV franchise joining the CW with a brand new series, Law & Order Toronto Criminal Intent. Same team that brought you the original series. This time in a new city on a new network. Law & Order Toronto Criminal Intent. And I mean to tell you, and livid over there is Alex Golish. And I think he's upset about not throwing a penalty flag on what he certainly believed was a pass interference against the Miami secondary.
The Miami DBs, they have been challenging these receivers all game, and they've been grabbing a lot. They've been pulling, grabbing, and he has a right to be furious. There have been some questionable contact back there in the secondary.
Well, I know a lot of Miami fans were giving up to us early in the game on that very first bomb thrown down the sideline. There was clearly contact there that was not called, and now another that wasn't called, at least in Coach Golish estimation. And here it is right here. Basically hands all over the receiver and no call.
Yeah, I mean, he did impede. It was almost like special teams, right? On the gunner where you can grab, but he was trying to get to his spot. The arms did go around the neck, so I can see where something should have been thrown there.
And if anything else, illegal contact downfield into the secondary. That's not pass
in the NFL. That's thrown. In the NFL, that's thrown. That's a flag.
All right, so now it's Carson Beck and company from the 25, back across the middle, and he connects to Keelan Marion, the transfer senior from BYU. Marion, an All-American kickoff return man for the Cougars last year. Look at that.
Look at that strike from the up cam. That's my favorite cam, by the way.
Yeah, I know it is. You love that play. Gives you an idea, at least closer to what it's really like down there, doesn't it?
No, it really is, though, because I played nickel, so that gives you the exact perspective of what it's like seeing an NFL-type quarterback throwing the football at you.
Beck 9 of 11, 128 yards. And Miami on the move again, all day to throw. And this dumps it off to Fletcher Jr. out in the backfield. And he scampers, tiptoes along the sideline, steps out of bounds right at the 38-yard line. Another first down for the Canes.
Yeah, this is what Carson does a great job of. He looks all the way on the field, and he always has that outlet. One of his running backs are always available to him, so that's something he does really awesome on every drive.
Now Miami hurrying up to the line of scrimmage. And a big hole. Fletcher inside the 22. The end zone. Touchdown run, the longest run of this season for Mark Fletcher Jr. That didn't take long.
Let's wake this crowd back up, Tom. Okay, let's do that.
I tell you, most of them stayed here.
Some of them took a nap.
Well, or still taking a nap. So now Carter Davis for the point after out of the hold of Joyce. Low snap, good catch by Joyce, and a point after is good. Bang, bang, bang.
Look at that, blocking by all these receivers down the field. He makes a great move on the defensive back there, and just look at that, more down the field blocking by Keelan Marion.
Part of really a three-pronged running game. Fletcher, one of those three, of course. Wes Bryant.
I guarantee you, when they watch the film tomorrow, they're going to see all these receivers blocking down the field all game long. They've been doing an outstanding job since the very, very beginning of this game.
Look at those numbers for Fletcher. He ran for 86 yards, came out of the game early in the rout of Bethune-Cookman. Had a couple of touchdowns. Fourth time in his career he's had 2 or more rushing touchdowns in a game.
He just had a great reception before the run.
All right, let's check in downstairs with Wes Bryant.
Yeah, I got a chance to talk to Mark Fletcher this week. He's one of the top rushers in the ACC, and he just said his goal, he doesn't have any personal goals. He just wants to win, and said he didn't realize that he could be great at this game until more people just told him how good he was when he was a kid, and he just loves to work and work for the good of the team.
Yeah, and even before the season opener, Mario Cristobal, told us, along with the offensive coordinator, Shannon Dawson, said, look, Jordan Lyle, the sophomore, was going to get the start. And he said, I just felt like it was very important to go talk to Fletcher to say, hey, look, don't hang your head. Everybody's going to get a shot to get carries here. And said Fletcher was cool.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's going to play, but they said if you're cooking, then you're going to handle the rock. And so far, he's been doing everything. Receiving, rushing. He's been really, really awesome for this offense.
21-6. Davenport checks into the game. He's in motion. And on first down, offline with an eye on Neptune.
Yeah, this is going to be important for this Miami defense. They're only rushing 4, sometimes 3, to really try to rattle Byron Brown while he sits back there and looks around and throws the football.
That'll be a gain of 3. Davenport saw him in motion just a moment ago, getting the carry. It's been primarily Norton, Franklin, Isaac getting almost every single carry so far this year. And they haven't had guys come out of the game, because every game, by and large, except for the end of the Boise State game, has been tight. And Brown still on his feet somehow. Down he goes.
It's a scary sight when you see Ruben Fain running after you in the backfield. This is what I mean. They got to get a rush from the D-line. They send an extra one. They send 5. They surround him. Boom. Laying the boom. Byron Brown.
Yeah, Messidor down low. You had Armando Blunt, I beg your pardon, finishing him off up top.
What's happening, though, is that they're taking away those outside screens, the wide screen. The secondary is doing a good job of pressing and challenging the receivers, so it's making it very difficult for him to throw those plays.
Line drive, punt will take a bounce, fielded by Tony all the way back at his 20. Made a couple of guys missed and brings it out to the 25. There is a penalty flag down right around the 35-yard line. 59-yard boot by the Australian. Well, those two are having a lengthy conversation there. Well, the punter and Thomas here.
There are fouls by each team after the play. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Kicking team number 37, his first of the game. And receiving team number 8, his first of the game. The penalties cancel. The down counts. First down.
Okay. Boys will be boys. Coming up next, the PBR Camping World Team Series takes over North Carolina. Best bull riders in the world go head-to-head. Team Glory on the line there. PBR Camping World Team Series from Greensboro coming up next on the CW. Of course, we're the home of the ACC, both football and basketball. Greensboro, a storied venue for so many great ACC conference tournaments. First down.
When's the last time a punter got a personal foul?
Yeah, no kidding. I don't remember one. Maybe you played with one.
Listen, they always say they see the second guy. They saw both. They saw both this time.
That's right.
You should have left him alone, is what he said. You see Miami here getting back on track, again with more direct runs. Something that's been very explosive for them.
If you weren't with us earlier, this is a massively talented offensive line. It's something that Mario Cristobal talked about in their recruiting, and he is an outstanding recruiter. There's no two ways about that. They are so big. You got Brown at left tackle, 345. Left guard McCoy, 325. Brockermeyer, 300 to center. Then you go 335 and 325. Right guard, right tackle.
And they can move.
Yeah.
And they have great body composition. They're just not 330. They're 330 and lean.
Third down and 5 for the Canes. And a flag. False start against Miami. Will back them up.
Offense number 61. 5-yard penalty. It's still third down.
That's the All-American over there making his 27th career start. Francis Mauinoa.
Yeah, he's the mauler of the group. He's the big, aggressive, just mauler. Run to his side. Anytime you get a chance, you might have a successful play.
Well, that cat at left tackle, what do you call him? At 6'9", 345. Markel Brown.
3rd and 10. Usually Malachi Tony is the go-to player for this situation.
That's Tony, second from the bottom of your screen, wearing number 10. True freshman. And Beck is going to take off, and he will not get there. He appears to be a yard or two, depending on the spot, short. Gotta believe Miami just goes ahead and punts here at their own 29, right?
I'm laughing because it looks so chaotic, but that's what it is. That's what it looks like from the perspective. But they took away the middle of the field, which I believe where Tony was, so therefore he had to pull the football down and try to get the first.
Well, the Bulls are going to get it back here right around the 6-minute mark. They've managed a couple of field goals against this Miami defense so far. And the punt returner let it bounce once. It's Joshua Porter. He is very lucky with the slick conditions down there on the field that he was able to pick that off the deck. 50-yard punt.
He should have been able to advance it. He threw a fair catch signal.
We invite you to stay tuned for our halftime show presented by Subaru. Love, it's what makes Subaru, Subaru. Nighttime nearly upon us here in Miami Gardens, Florida, home of Mario Cristobal's Miami Hurricanes, ranked number 5 in the nation. David trying to slay Goliath.
Yeah, coach is furious because you can't throw a fair catch signal and advance the football. And that's exactly what just happened.
All right, so the Bulls started from their own 19-yard line. Design quarterback run for Brown. He picks up 2.
Yeah, this is something they're going to have to get back to on this drive. As they scored before, just more positive plays.
Low throw, and it's incomplete. Trying to find Singleton for the first time in a game.
Yeah, trying to throw these intermediate routes on the outside. Anything between 5 and 15 yards is going to be tough because they're pressing on the outside. They're going up in the face and challenging these receivers.
But now Miami hoping its defense can force a 3 and out and get it back before half. Third down and 8. They get to the 29 where they need to for a first down.
They might check a slot fade down here.
Play clock down to 3. Blitz coming. And it's intercepted. Bryce Fitzgerald.
There it is, bringing the pressure.
That is the first interception thrown in 253 attempts by the quarterback, Byron Brown.
Again, they're able to get pressure immediately, which forces him to get rid of the football. Even though they are a high-tempo team, some RPO, some quarterback design runs, they are over 70% of a drop-back team. So don't want to sit back there and try to pick you guys apart like you did last drive. Get some pressure, and they were able to do that with only a 3 to 4 man rush.
All right, so now Beck and the Hurricanes offense at the Bulls' 25-yard line. Boy, a touchdown here could make for a long second half for the Bulls. They run it on first down with Fletcher. And he's still on his feet. No, they go to Brown, who checks in for the first time. I beg your pardon.
They're playing everyone, Tom.
Well, I mean, they should when they're this good.
Well, I would say, too, that's the deal when you are getting these really talented recruits and you're going into the portal, that these guys are coming to play now. Like, they're not coming here to sit and be slowly developed. They're coming here, they're saying yes, they're committing to your school because they're expecting to play.
Brown stays in the game. Off to the left hip of Carson Beck. Play fake. Beck lofts it towards the end zone, and he overshot his target. First time we've called the name of the tight end, Alex Bauman. Transfer senior, came over from Tulane, where he had a nice career there for the Green Wave.
He's so used to throwing to these track stars on the outside. He oversailed that one just a little bit.
Right. Some cat that weighs 250 can't run like those dudes run 185. So now 3rd down and 6. Fletcher checks back into the backfield. Very good receiver is Fletcher. Catch is made by Tony, but well short of the first down. Say well short, depending on the spot, it might be 2 yards, maybe just inside of 2, and it looks like they're keeping the offense on the field, or are they? Nope, out comes the field goal unit. No, they're not. They're putting in the jumbo package. I beg your pardon.
All right, here we go, bringing out the big boy football.
Boy, look at that backfield.
The old school routine.
They give it to Fletcher. And he is able to muscle ahead inside the 15 for a first down, Hurricanes.
Yeah, just change the personnel real quick to make you think, and they go back to what they've been doing all game long. Running man, running duo. These downhill direct runs.
Well, Fletcher is a good-looking back. They're all good-looking backs. We have still not seen Lyle yet. They said he was back from injury.
I love that formation. Ran that when I was about 7 years old.
Yeah. Don't see it much anymore with your son, do you?
Ever. It's all shotgun.
With the read option, and he has a first down inside the 3-yard line. Beck only had 2 carries this entire year. He's had a couple already here today.
Yeah, I love that
design runs.
I love that they're adding this element here. You haven't seen this on film, but he is an athletic quarterback. 6'4", almost 230. Tough to bring down.
2:50 to go until halftime, and the Canes trying to put South Florida in a major hole. High formation, Fletcher. Looking here, Beck into the end zone, touchdown Miami. That is the first rushing touchdown for Beck in a Hurricanes uniform.
You know, he's excited to get that run. See, I've been throwing you guys touchdown passes all game long. It's time for me to get mine.
For sure. Boy, what a 2-year run he had for the Bulldogs. You know, last year, Georgia led the nation in drop passes. So his numbers weren't as good last year as they were the year before. But what a start for him in Miami.
I love when Coach Dawson breaks the tendencies. He ran quarterback direct run before. Yet USF is thinking, no way, they're not going to run it again. Sure enough, fake I saw it with the bootleg. Oh, he got to get that poster, put it in his room somewhere. That's a nice shot right there.
So we talked about the largest deficit so far this year for the Bulls when they were down 14. Now all of a sudden they're down 22. Miami has been dominant on both sides of the football here in this opening half.
Yeah, and a big part of that, this defensive line has been getting pressure on Byron Brown.
boomed out of the end zone. Well, the fastest growing cable network in all of television is News Nation. News Nation respects all Americans and is news for all Americans. To find News Nation on your television, go to newsnationnow.com.
Now, what do you do here in this situation? You think because we're down a lot, we need to panic and start tossing the ball in the air. It's still first half. Like, still get back to your offense. Do what you do. Run your tempo, direct runs, wide screens. And just keep it simple.
Neptune is corralled around the head by Chase Smith. Smith's played a lot of football here for Miami. He's been here all 4 years under Cristobal. Spinning and diving forward is Isaac. It'll bring up a third down. So that'll take us to the 2-minute timeout. So stay tuned for the final 2 minutes of the half, presented by the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. Active Cash Credit Card from Wells Fargo. Be a 2%er, earning unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases. Terms do apply. All right, last 2 minutes. You're going to air it out here a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, you want to try to come over with 6 points. I mean, what they're going to do here is they're still going to run their tempo offense, which is pretty much a 2-minute type style offense. But you're going to see a lot of passes to the boundary, trying to attack that and save your 3 timeouts, at least until you get to the 50-yard line.
Of course, they need to convert on this 3rd down and 3 first. Isaac in the backfield. And a little inside shovel pass did not fool the Hurricanes defensively.
Yeah, that pressure just destroyed the entire play. You see him with the shovel pass, and he delayed throwing it, so there wasn't a turnover.
Well, they're very excited about Ahmad Moten. As Neptune is limping over there. They're going for it here on 4th down. I mean, you're down 28-6. Or are they? Timeout called on the field. As Neptune, they'll take a look at him over on the sideline as, you know, this time last year, this was a game. It was 22-15 in the opening half. And then Miami blew the doors off the Bulls in the second half. And if you throw in tonight's score a year later, plus 50 for the Canes.
Yeah, go ahead and punt this away. Don't even mess around.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's no way.
The way the defensive line has been playing tonight. Don't mess around with that.
Malachi Tony, and there's more than enough time for Carson Beck and company to go after another. They will not take the foot off the gas here. No chance. Tony from a 22. Still on his feet across the 40, and he's just tripped up. Then collided with his own man. But an excellent return by Tony.
I almost got flashbacks here watching Roscoe Parrish, Devin Hester, all those Miami elite return specialists that they had back in the day. And he looks just like one of them. Almost broke that one for a touchdown.
Well, this Tony has some kind of future, man. He is the only receiver on an FBS team since 2008 to lead his team in receptions and receiving yards the first 2 games of his career. A true freshman.
Think about how busy, how active he is, and he's the return specialist as well.
All right, here we go. 2-minute offense for Beck. Trying to add to a 28-6 lead. They're looking at one play. Contact down there, and what a catch by C.J. Daniels. A flag was thrown. He caught it anyway.
I mean, this guy's a walking highlight reel. Okay, every single...
Pass interference. Defense number 22. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Look at that. He fights to get back and plucks this football. Wow. I mean, my goodness. Look at this.
Of course, he had that highlight reel, all-time highlight reel touchdown reception against the Fighting Irish.
That's how you go get it. CJ is a pro right now.
It's funny, you know, last year at LSU, you know, he caught a lot of balls, but he didn't catch a single touchdown after he had 2 monster seasons at Liberty. And then decided to transfer for a second time, his 3rd school. And what a start here at Miami for Daniels. Hit as he throws, and the first interception thrown this year by Carson Beck. And Jarvis Lee Jr. will now give the Bulls a chance. So we've seen 2 quarterbacks. One had gone 250-plus passes. Beck had gone over 200-plus passes without throwing a pick.
Yeah, you see Matt come right off the edge. Mac Harris bringing the pressure, attacking the upfield shoulder just enough so he couldn't throw a touch pass. Great play. Great play. That was huge. They needed that. Can't allow them to get any more points on the board. Now they have another chance to go down the field.
Jarvis Lee, a junior out of Jacksonville, Florida, outstanding in the classroom. He has been an honor roll student his first 2+ years at USF. Boy, nothing's easy. Nothing has been easy in this game for the Bulls. Moody Rubin, the intended target there.
You see here a drive starter for the 2-minute situation, throwing the ball to the boundary, trying to save their timeouts to get up the field.
Brown looking around, and it's tipped, nearly intercepted. He had an open receiver in Nimrod across the middle of the field. A lot of space out there, but couldn't connect. 3rd down and 10.
It looked like, I believe it was Torre that was there, being in that window, reading the quarterback, making that play.
All right, 3rd down and 10 with 1:07 to play until halftime. After an hour and 42-minute weather delay. All day to throw it. And just off target again. Lucas out there encumbered Xavier Lucas. And that's a 3 and out, and they're going to have to punt again. Boy, this Miami defense has been mighty good again.
Yeah, for those at home, look on the outside when Miami's on defense. That both cornerbacks are challenging these receivers, making it difficult, taking away the #1 read instantly.
All right, the electrifying Tony is standing back at his 10-yard line. Booming punt. And what a great punt right there by Leon. Well done. Coming up Tuesday night, former NXT champions turned WWE megastars in the CW. I mean, all the stars are out. Ripley, Stratton, Carmelo Hayes, and more. Don't miss a very special NXT Tuesday, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, right here on the CW. I think Wes is a big wrestling guy, isn't he?
Yes, he actually is a big wrestling guy. He follows them for sure.
Wes, you dialed in with all those guys?
Yeah, man, I love it. You know, we watch WWE every week. I keep up with the storylines. I actually watched SmackDown last night before I went to bed. Yeah.
I tell you what, Wes's son might end up in WWE SmackDown. We were riding back last night after meeting with the USF coaches, and he's telling us his 13-year-old son. There you are, Wes, with a reigning champ down there.
Yeah, man.
But Wes's son is 6'3", 200 pounds, and 13 years old.
closet taking his shoes.
Yeah, no doubt. What size are those shoes your son wearing, Wes?
Yeah, man, I'm sure that he will be elated because he's not only made it onto my radio show, but now he's made it onto my football games as well. So he'll be quite excited.
Well, heck, I'd be excited to be his agent. He'll be looking for one of them. That'll be the final play of this opening half. Well, we came in wondering about, could David slay Goliath? Is there going to be one more play?
Looks like USF called a timeout.
Yeah, before third down at 7 here.
With 5 seconds left.
But, you know, we wonder, coming in, you get the win USF does against Boise State, 34-7. Then they go to Gainesville against a talented Florida team, 18-16 on the last second field goal by Nico Gramatica. But now coming in, this is a different cat they're squaring off with this week. Nothing against Florida, nothing against Boise State. But Miami's ranked in the top 5 for a reason.
Well, there is some context to it. I know, Boise was who they were, but they lost a lot of players. They lost Ashton Genty, which was, pretty much majority of the team, the offensive production. So that was a different team that they dealt with. And also Boise going to Florida to play them. And then going against Florida, yes, when it comes athlete-wise, you have a similar or maybe better athletes there than here Miami, but just it's a different beast.
Third down, they're just going to run it. And it's good enough for a first down, but that is the final play of an opening half dominated by the Miami Hurricanes, putting up better than 300 yards of offense and a stifling defense. 28-6 after the break. CW Football Saturday studio.
We're going on the ground, which is going to help in the pass game as well.
And look at the yards per play for Miami, whether it be in the air or on the ground, over 8. That is something else. And nearly 2-to-1 time of possession. All right, let's go downstairs to the big fella, Wes Bryant.
Talked to Coach Alex Golesh coming out of half. He said, we just have to get back to playing like us. And as far as adjustments, he said they have to do better on first down so that they're not in third and long and stop giving up the explosives.
All righty, Alex. Wes, thank you very much. Alex Golesh, his team so far getting it handed to him tonight. But, look, they're off to a great start this year. Their schedule, and, I've never liked the game where you say, well, they got a bunch of, teams they should beat the rest of the year. There are other good teams inside their conference, teams that certainly are more than capable of beating them. But if they play the way they have the first 2 games, not necessarily the way they played in this game against a very, very exceptionally strong opponent, they could be contending for a group of 5 to get into a college football playoff.
Yeah, there's no better way to prepare than to open up with Boise, Florida, and Miami. You're playing 3 tough teams out the gate, so that right there is going to help them get ready for conference. But you know what? They still have this game to play.
That's right.
They've been known to come from behind and get some really, really successful wins. They were able to get some turnovers. They got a pick in the first one from Carson that he's thrown all year. Let's see what they do in the second half.
We have 30 minutes of football here still to play. And the Bulls will get the ball. Jaquan Smith waiting back, and it's booted through the back of the end zone. For those of you tuning in for PBR Team Series Bull Riding from Greensboro, coverage currently airing on the CW app and CWTV.com. At CWTV.com. We'll join live coverage right after we conclude our game here in Miami that was delayed at the start of the second quarter for an hour and 42 minutes due to lightning in and around Miami Gardens.
Yeah, let's see what adjustments they make here. Again, these Miami defensive backs are pressing on the outside. I was going to see if they do some motioning. Here's some motion right now.
That's Neptune, who was injured in the first quarter. They're going to lay it off to him, and here's Bain. Reuben Bain Jr., their leading tackler. A couple of sacks already, an interception, a forced fumble.
But you don't want to throw it to his side.
No.
Okay, that's the most dangerous side to throw the football to. Outstanding job by Reuben Bain.
Of course, Akeem Messidor is on the other side.
Doesn't get easier.
a minute ago, not getting into second and third and long. And catch is made by Wyatt Sullivan. First time we've called his name tonight. It'll bring up a third down. Looks closer to a 3rd and 6 and a 3rd and 5. Just 3 out of 10 on third down conversions were the Bulls in the opening half. Here comes the blitz. They pick it up and hit as he threw was Brown. It's incomplete. 3 and out for the Bulls to begin the second stanza.
Hey, guess who it was? My man, Ruben Bain Jr. again affecting the pass.
Well, they talked about his commitment to get his body in the best shape it's ever been in.
Yeah, he actually cut down to 275 and then also changed his whole body comp, so he's actually more muscle. He did that starting in April. He's been very effective all over the place. He put together a serious offseason.
And Leon punts it inside the 25 down to the 24. So Carson Beck, yes, it is indeed the house of Bain Jr. Every game for the Canes.
Hey, Marty, I got us what's known as a luxury box. These babies don't come cheap.
Yeah, sure. Who needs to see the game? What sport is this?
Oh, hot dogs.
What are your specials?
Hot dogs. Oh, 2, please. For you, 2 buy for us.
I'd love to, because I earn unlimited 2% cash rewards with my Wells Fargo Active Cash Card.
Oh, Marty, we're on the celebrity cam.
The Active Cash credit card from Wells Fargo. Terms apply.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd have to use life insurance. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage.
Check your price.
60 years strong with financial strategies for a more confident future. Miami gets the football for the first time here in the second half, leading 28-6. Closed captioning for tonight's game brought to you by Tableau TV. Pay once, watch forever. Hurricanes over 300 yards of offense in the first half. And it is in the air to begin the second half. And the catch is made by Keelan Marion.
Telling you, if you guys continue to watch this game, look on the perimeter. Malachi Tony, that man is blocking, okay? He is taking guys to the sideline every single play that it's a run.
Love seeing that, don't you?
Oh, yeah, a freshman receiver doing that. You're letting the team know right now, like, everything matters. I'm trying to do everything I can to help this team win.
They believe he has a chance to be one of the greats. Now, granted, you're only 3 games into your true freshman year. But, boy, they like what they see. Beck slings it to the near side, and the catch is made by C.J. Daniels, and he is not gotten up yet. Maybe had the wind knocked out of him, you hope. But he went down and has stayed down. This young man who grew up in Lilburn, Georgia, initially committed to Liberty, where he had 2 great years. Over 2,500 receiving yards and 24 touchdowns.
Yeah, that looks like
appear to be limping, maybe shaken up, wind knocked out of him. We're not sure. They haven't looked at any particular area of his body. But you certainly hope and pray that he's all right.
Yeah, looks like he fell on his shoulder, possible AC sprain or what have you.
Daniels making a catch, resulting in a first down and false start on the Hurricanes.
False start. Offense number 0. 5-yard penalty. It's still first down.
Talked about Marion. He came out of Atlanta in high school and went to UConn. Wasn't recruited by the big guys. Transferred to BYU, where excellent receiver, but really made his name as a kick returner. First team All-American a year ago as a kick returner. Back, quick slant, and that's the aforementioned Keelan Marion. Another first down for the Canes.
This on the sideline, when they were attending to C.J. James, you can see a video he asked, like, did I get the first down? While they were checking in on him.
Fletcher had a big first half. Had 8 carries, 73 yards, including a 38-yard touchdown, averaging over 9 yards per carry.
Yeah, that lets me know, let's get back to that. Let's get him the ball right now and run this football. Offensive line has doing a fantastic job this entire game in the run and the pass, and Fletcher has been recipient.
Be interesting to see if we do see Jordan Lyle, the sophomore who had an excellent freshman year a season ago. Ran for over 7 yards per carry. Started the season opener against Notre Dame. And there's a second interception thrown by Carson Beck. It was tipped into the air and then into the arms of James Chenault, the sophomore out of Orlando Jones High School. They really like his future, Chenault.
Great job playing the football right there by James.
Yeah, that was just an overthrow. Tony.
Well, I see 2 guys in the area, so it looked like Tony went up, assuming that it was overthrown for him. There was another receiver ahead of him where it looked like it was going to him.
Yeah, I think it was Johnson, Tony Johnson, standing there behind him. Tony's got some hops now. All right, so the second takeaway of the game for the Bulls defensively. Long way to go in this one. 11:21 to play just in the third quarter. South Florida's been unable to get anything going. Their last 4 drives. Good start to this one. Nimrod lost his footing, or that would have been a monster gain. It will be first down up to the 46-yard line.
Yeah, this is what they need. They got to get that going. The quick, high percentage passes in front of them. They're getting challenged by these defensive backs. So find a way to make some plays.
Gain of 15. And thrown to the deck. Pretty much right at the line of scrimmage is the quarterback. Justin Scott there to wrap him up.
Yeah, he was looking for Ruben on the fade, but they did a great job. Poyser was over the top, took that away in the secondary.
Scott, a 5-star recruit out of St. Ignatius Prep in Chicago. Only a sophomore. Halfback pass and read beautifully by the Hurricanes on defense. And that looked like Ethan O'Connor. Redshirt sophomore transfer from Washington State. Miami did not get all their players on the field, but no penalty flag on the field. And Alex Golish is losing his mind on the far side of the field. There were guys running in, running off. Don't know if they got off in time to have 11 on the field, but there was a lot going on there. Maybe they got him off in time.
Yeah, that was a wild series right there, Tom.
It looked like they did get him off in time. Leon with a punt and blown dead before the punt. Now, I'm wondering. Yeah, they're going to look at this to see how many men were on the field for Miami on defense. Did everybody get off the field in time?
To determine if there were 12 players on the defense on the field.
Yeah, this is one situation where you can review, official review, about how many players were on the field.
All right, let's see if we can freeze this thing, and we'll do the counting for us, if you would.
Let's doodle today. We're counting all of these right now. I have this beautiful telestrator. We got a lot of bodies there, fellas. We got a lot of bodies there.
And again, help me here, Will, for a second. If South Florida did not make any substitutions, right,
correct,
then that means the officials do not have to hold up and let the defense make substitutions.
Right.
If South Florida runs a couple of guys or even one guy on the field to make a substitution, you have to allow the defense to do the same thing before you put the ball in play.
Right, and you saw that in the first half. There was a time where South Florida did go fast, but they did sub in, I believe it was a receiver, and therefore the referee stood over the football, allowing Miami to sub. In this situation, there were no subs on the South Florida offense. And Miami, as you saw, had 13 bodies trying to figure out where to go.
Well, you wonder why this is taking so long. And Mike Mothershed back at our studio, our rules analyst this entire season, once again at CW. And Mike, I think we counted 13. You seen it the same way?
Well, Tom, actually what it is, replay will take a look. When the ball is snapped, how many people...
Repeat third down.
So when the ball is snapped, how many people are on the field? That's what they look for.
So at any given point in time, you can have 13 guys on the field. You just got to get them off before the ball is snapped.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, apparently it was snapped. There's still too many on the field. So question is now, where's the spot of the ball? Because that would be a penalty. They got to go back and make sure. Boy, I tell you, it just makes you wonder, how in the world could this take this long to figure out? You figure out how many guys are on the field, and while you're doing that, you figure out where was the ball. I mean, you try to do all this stuff at one time is the idea, right? Okay, the ball's on the 42-yard line. Okay, so the ball snaps there, and you still see the 13 guys that Will counted on the field. So clearly they call it right. So if it was at the 42, you tack on a 5-yard penalty, which should put the ball at the 47-yard line. Right now it's sitting at the 47-yard line. Okay, we're set to go. Isaac in the backfield. Off to the right shoulder of Brown. Third downs have been tough for the Bulls tonight, to say the least. Play clock down to 2. They get it off in time. And Brown's going to take off. Ball is loose. And it looks like the Canes have gobbled it up. Yes, they have. Down at the bottom of that pile is Jay Smith.
They're always taught that the quarterback is the most careless with the football. The defense did a great job taking a shot, getting that ball out.
I think it's Jacoby Thomas, yep. The strong safety.
Boom, face on the football, gets it out immediately. That is a big-time play.
Boy, they love Thomas. Played 3 years in Middle Tennessee State. Then a year in Tennessee. Played 13 games last season for the Volunteers, and it's his first with Miami.
It's a great thing about this secondary. They all can hit.
They got a lot of new bodies back there in that secondary. The only guy that got significant playing time that returned this year was O.J. Frederick, who played every game, starting in half of them as a freshman. But they get O'Connor in from Washington State, Lucas from Wisconsin. Not a single turnover in the 2 wins over Boise State and the Florida Gators. And a pair of turnovers, a fumble and an interception by Brown tonight. Sitting down right in the middle of that zone is Tony, and he's across midfield. It'll bring up a 3rd down. They're going to spot it at the 47. So a 3rd down and 4 coming up.
You can see Miami getting back to their offense with the man, the ISO runs. They run the hitches over the middle, which is, gives them a manageable 3rd down. 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5.
Either team has scored here in the second half. And short of a 1st down, it appears, is Shamar Brown. And if indeed he's short, will they go for it on 4th down and less than a yard? Very close. He's short by a yard. And here, I think here comes that
mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, that's something you loved earlier.
Oh, I love it. You got 3 across the back. We got the 1 back, the 2 back, and the 3 back.
Yeah, they got some.
Now we're going I
fellas.
formation.
Oh yeah. And blown dead. Is that a false start? And they're pointing to the
false start. Offense number 63. 5-yard penalty. It's still 4th down.
That's one of the extra offensive linemen the Hurricanes bring into the game, and that jumbo set Samson Okunlola, and Cristobal is really upset. So after the penalty, 4th and 1 becomes 4th and 6. Porter will wait on the Miami punt. Beauty.
Oh, that's a good punt.
This will pin him inside the 10-yard line. Well done. I'm Bank of America. What would you like the power to do? Well, sorry I wasn't with you last weekend. They dedicated a statue outside of Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. My dad, the longtime radio voice in the Baseball Hall of Fame, Marty Brenneman, outside the stadium. That's a cool event. But I'm sorry I missed that wild one you had last weekend down in Dallas, Texas.
I wish I missed so my dad can get a statue. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That is sick.
Yeah, it was fun.
So cool, man.
A lot of fun.
Congrats.
But glad to be back here. First game with you and I getting a chance to work together along with the big man, Wes Bryant. First down throw. There's Singleton. That's the guy we made the comment earlier. They call him a baby Calvin Johnson. He is a big, strong man at 6'5", 215 pounds. Came on strong at the end of his sophomore year.
Defense, right? Personal foul, face mask, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
So they tack on 15 more.
Oh, man, it's clear as day.
That is Damari Brown, the redshirt sophomore. Whistle for that infraction.
Yeah, when the whole helmet comes off, it's hard not to call that.
Yeah. All right, so a 1st down and a 15-yard penalty. One of the better runs of the day. It has been so quiet in the run game, as you pointed out earlier, Will Blackman.
Yeah, averaging over 100 yards a game, and so far it's been real light in the run game. But to get something going, man, this would be super beneficial.
How about that fake right there? And into the open field is Wyatt Sullivan all the way down inside the 30-yard line. That was a nice-looking design play there.
The old tight end pop pass. Hold the read, so that tight end release, and the linebacker steps up, float over the top.
31-yard gain. And now Brown lays it off to Isaac, and that's a gain of 9. So this is the best things have gone in quite some time for the Bulls on offense.
Yeah, they're doing a great job of making this defensive line work lateral. Don't just sit there in the pocket and let them pin their ears back and attack you. Some motions, some sprints, some boot passes.
Puts it up in the corner of the end zone, and excellent coverage out there by Zachariah Poyser.
Like plays like that, Byron was sitting there in the pocket trying to read that corner route and got hit right in the mouth.
All right, so a 3rd down and 1.
It's got to be 4 down territory here. You've got to come away with more than 3 points.
When you get a touchdown here, you make it a 2-score game. Quarterback design run and able to barely get that first down. You know, this Miami defense completely shut down Notre Dame. Jeremiah Love and company, such a great running attack. Held them to 93 rushing yards. Ohio State was the only team in the country, and that was in the national championship game, of course, to hold Notre Dame under 100 yards rushing a season ago. And Miami did it in the very first game of this year. Brown lost his footing there to lose a yard.
Yeah, they've been stout up front. That was the important thing. They really spent this offseason working on communication, watching more film, taking more ownership of their defense, and it's paying dividends right now. Guys are lining up quickly. They're ready for this tempo. Constant communication from every level of this defense. And it's doing well for them.
That's what we heard over and over and over again from their first-year defensive coordinator, Corey Heatherman. He came here from Minnesota. He was only there 1 year. What a job he did. That's good, strong running there by Isaac. And it looked like nothing initially. Turns it into a gain of almost 8, maybe 9. Yeah, we'll call it 8.
This is what they need. Isaac, he's their fast, dynamic running back. He's a big playmaker for them. They got to get him going.
We'll give it to him again. And, I mean, he runs into a stone wall. That's the same side of the field that, you know, you're looking at Bain, you're looking at Moat. So now 4th down, and they will go. That Moten is a load now. He's getting better and better every game.
Yeah, this is big. You got to get 6 points. Maybe call it, here we go. They're going to call a timeout to find a good play for them, but this is important. Make sure you have the right play because you must get points.
All right, so 4th down coming up. Pretty much the game on the line here for South Florida.
And that's Jadarian Price getting into the end zone. That put them up 14-7. They tack on 3 more, but just moments ago, Texas A&M, Le'Veon Moss with a 1-yard touchdown run. And guys, it's 17-14.
All right, a 4th down. 4th down and 2 for the South Florida Bulls. If any hopes of getting back into this game, they must convert right here and right now. Quarterback keeper, and he did not get there. This Miami defense led by that man, Ruben Bain Jr. and company have been fantastic again here tonight.
That's how you stand up tough. I mean, it's a bold move to run a quarterback run right into the teeth of the defense. That's where the dudes are, and that's a great job by Miami, standing up tough on that 4th down in the red zone, keeping all points off the board.
Jay Smith in there, among others, Keontae Scott. Great work by this Miami defense. That was their downfall a year ago. No two ways about it. Mario Cristobal said it point blank. He said, look, we fired everybody on that defensive side. He said, but I don't want anybody to think that I'm making anyone else who is here a scapegoat for that. I mean, you remember last year, this Miami team started 9-0. 9-0. Then they lost against Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech had a good team at the end of last year. They got a good team this year. They're undefeated. They beat Clemson today. But then they got to win at Wake. They went into their final game of the season at Syracuse, knowing if they won the game, they would play in the ACC championship. But after getting out to a 21-0 lead, the defense just completely fell apart. Gave up 42 points. Then in the Pop-Tarts Bowl, they gave up 42 points again. That time to Iowa State. There's Tony across the middle, and a first down up to the 34. And the only defensive coach who was brought back, the Hall of Famer, former Miami Dolphin, Jason Taylor.
Yeah, that was the key going into this offseason. They questioned and evaluated everything that was going on, whether it was coaching, whether it was the importance for each player to really commit to what this defense is trying to do.
Near side. What a catch by Keelan Marion. Boy, they have brought in some stallions, haven't they, from that transfer portal?
But this is a great battle between him and Shenault. Great job, great coverage, great double move, but he just did enough to just get ahead, and great ball. Enough to fade him on the outside. You see that he's right there 5 yards away from the boundary, which gives my quarterback enough room to fade me outside. Because had he been pinned to the sideline, Shenault probably could have made that play, but enough. Again, great job by giving Carson room to lay it out there for the fade.
Spanning 60 yards the last two plays, that one for 30. And they fake the run, they put it in the air. Tony lost his footing somehow, some way, stayed on his feet, man. What an athlete. What an athlete.
This is what I mean. Like, I thought for sure he was going down.
Yeah.
He was no question about it. But his balance, his body control, his awareness. Again, he's only a freshman, a true freshman, guys.
They play just down the road in Miami. American Heritage High School was recruited by everybody. Everybody. Won a 4A state championship in Florida. The Florida High School Player of the Year. There's a cat up there at Ohio State from Florida who ain't too bad. Jeremiah Smith. Powerful running there. Fletcher banging on the door of a 100-yard rushing game.
For those rugby fans, you're probably smiling at this scrum right here. It's a great job just laying on the bodies, pushing forward for the first down. They talked about running the plays in the middle and just pushing the pile. It's just going to wear on the defense. It's going to wear on everybody. And with this big offensive line and that big running back in Fletcher, they're able to do exactly just that.
10 rushes, 86 yards for Mark Fletcher. He had 86 in the last game and a couple of touchdowns against Bethune-Cookman. And another touchdown. Back-to-back games, 2 rushing touchdowns for Mark Fletcher Jr.
Like everybody went in the weight room this offseason. You watch him run, you think Steven Jackson, you think Marshawn Lynch, you think all those explosive, powerful running backs churning, fighting to get to the end zone.
And the point after is good. Fletcher with 99 yards in the game.
Just unfortunate poor tackling on South Florida's part. Great blocking for Miami and just outstanding running from Fletcher there. You see the arm swinging. You see the dreads flying. He's determined to get to the end zone right there. Yeah, look at that, 9.0 per carry. Outstanding. He's been a beast on the ground.
Yeah, he sure has. Fletcher has a pair of 100-yard rushing games in his career. Went for 126, his career high, against Louisville.
And now what do you do here for South Florida? You know, you just had a backbreaker on that 4th and 2, and then Miami just drove down the field and got a touchdown. So now you're questioning, like, what should we do in this situation? I mean, now you got to take a shot. You got to start throwing the ball down the field. You got to find a way to get more big plays in the air.
Final 35 seconds of this third quarter. That's the first score for either team here in the second half. It was 28-6 at halftime, and we nearly got through the entire quarter without. But I mean, bang, 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 3 straight big plays, and it capped off. There's a flag that comes in behind the line of scrimmage.
Personal foul, illegal hands to the face, defense number 18. The 15-yard penalty is added to the end of the play. Automatic first down.
That's Levi Smiley, redshirt freshman out of Cincinnati. Took a redshirt year last year. Went to the same high school in Cincinnati, Purcell Marion High School, as the great Roger Staubach, who went on to, of course, star at the Naval Academy and then the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. What a catch by Singleton. Boy, that big frame, he reached out there and just snatched that thing. That was a bullet by Brown, and that'll be the final play of the third quarter. Big stop on defense. Hurricanes cap it off with a touchdown.
Marco's is back with unlimited medium one-topping pizzas for just $6.99 each.
Is this thing on?
We said unlimited, fresh, melty, golden medium one-topping pizzas for just $6.99 each. Now you're listening. Get this deal while you can at Marco's.
Next Level dog people give their dogs next level protection with NexGuard Plus. One and done monthly parasite protection against fleas, ticks, heartworm disease, roundworms, and hookworms. Used with caution in dogs with a history of seizures or neurologic disorders. Get next level protection with
Make a child smile. Well, let's see. You could tell them a joke, give them a gift, or maybe a little dance. But for some kids, a bigger smile takes a little more attention from locally trained surgeons, nurses, and specialists. So, how can you make a child smile? Scan or go online to learn more.
Take a look at today's Royal Caribbean game summary. Miami jumping all over the South Florida Bulls, and then rain came about a minute 15 into the second quarter. Stopping play, Lightning did, for an hour and 42 minutes. And then the Hurricanes just got down to business on offense and defense, and they sit in front 35-6.
Yeah, Lightning came, but Thunder came on the ground game with Fletcher.
Look at you.
And with Bain stopping the run on that 4th and 2.
Smart guy over there is Will Blackton.
I'm just a football player.
No.
Was.
You got the brains, too. From the Miami 27, a first down carry.
Keyshawn Singleton is a story that when he was born, his mother looked up at the TV and saw Keyshawn Johnson.
Yeah.
And that's where he got his name. They call him Baby Calvin, but got his name after Keyshawn.
Second down after maybe a gain of a yard. Blitz coming, they pick it up, well done, and Neptune a reception. That'll be a gain of close to 8. Bring up third down and short for the Bulls. Just underway here in the fourth quarter. Next week we'll come to you from Atlanta. And there is a first down run. And still on his feet, running hard, is Sam Franklin. We've not called his name today. He had a couple of incredible years at Tennessee Martin, then went to Oklahoma last year. But if you didn't hear the news earlier today, Georgia Tech got a 55-yard field goal at the buzzer. Clemson had tied the game with less than 2 minutes to go. And then, apparently, reading the articles after the game, Haynes King, the quarterback at Georgia Tech, went to his coach and said, just give me the ball. I will get us in a position to win the game. And that's exactly what happened. Clemson 1-2 to begin the year. And a couple of losses last year, but now they would have to run the table to get consideration, more than likely, or a chance to play an ACC championship game. Incomplete across the middle will bring up third down and 8. Of course, Clemson, the defending ACC champs. Miami would love to be able to do that. It's hard to believe. When Miami came into the Atlantic Coast Conference, everybody thought they were going to dominate this conference. That has been the furthest thing from the truth.
I remember that because they were the first to go. When I was with BC in the Big East, they were the first to go. You thought with what they have been doing in the Big East, that it was going to be easy, that they were going to make the run.
Timeout on the field, third down and 8. 35-6. Canes in front. Pizza, order your Marco's Pizza today. And by Royal Caribbean. Come seek. Yes, they start him young here in Miami.
Catch a Pop Warner game somewhere down the street.
You know, we were talking about 4 schools that are currently in the conference, the ACC, that have never won the ACC. Louisville, which is a bit of a surprise. They've had some good teams lately. Syracuse, your alma mater, Boston College. And these Miami Hurricanes, nobody would have ever guessed that when they came into the Atlantic Coast Conference. Nice little bubble screen there, and it will lead to a touchdown for Christian Neptune. First touchdown of the game for the Bulls. Little more than 2 minutes into this fourth quarter.
That was important to get some quick points. Attacking the perimeter. Don't just sit there, drop back, and let these guys come after you. Attack the perimeter. Get it to your receivers to make plays. Great play right there for the touchdown.
So now Brown wants to double check with his coach about they're going to go for 2 here to try and make it a 35-14 game, which makes it a 21-point game if they can get it. And of course that makes it a 3-score game. Brown in the shotgun, trips to the right, looks right, throws, and it's broken up. Well defended there. That is Bryce Fitzgerald. And Rubin also in there. All right, next week, CW Football Saturday, we told you, will be in Atlanta. Georgia Tech undoubtedly will be ranked. They're off to a 3-0 start after beating Clemson today, hosting Temple. CW Football Saturday Countdown next week at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific. Looking forward to getting to Hotlanta.
He had a run back wide open in the end zone. Norton, I believe it was.
Coach Key really talked up the Georgia Tech students and fan base about the way they turned out for that game against Clemson early today. That was a noon kickoff. And I'm sure they'll be packed in there on Saturday when we come rolling in.
To the A. Headed to the A.
It's not the ATL. It's the. Is that the new, more hip version?
It's either one. It's either one.
It's not Albuquerque. The A. I know a lot of A's in my life, I'll tell you that. 35-12. Let's send it back to the studio.
All right, Tom, whatever Will says, by the way, that is the cool version of anything that comes out of his mouth. Meanwhile, back and forth action between Notre Dame and Texas A&M. How about that? CJ Carter, Jeremiah Love, 36-yard touchdown, 24-14. Texas A&M comes right back. Le'Veon Moss, his second touchdown of the game, is 24-21.
That's a good game.
Definitely.
I mean, there's still 5 minutes left until halftime in that one. Say, Ohio University got a really nice team this year. They beat West Virginia last week. They barely lost on a late second field goal to Rutgers in the season opener. And they're playing Ohio State within 10 points. That game in the opening minutes of the third quarter.
Yeah, that's the beauty right now with the portal, is that you're able to pull players all over the place and change your roster overnight.
Yeah.
You've seen teams like Central Michigan going to San Jose State and getting that W because they turn over their roster. South Florida right now, you know, where they are turning over their roster and being competitive. Teams are more competitive in this new environment.
And of course, Ohio University, the reigning MAC champions. So they've got a lot of talent on that team, including their outstanding quarterback, Parker Navarro. Short gain on second down. It'll bring up a third down for the Hurricanes. They still have all their horses in the game right now. Maybe a couple of backups have started to sprinkle in, leading 35-12 with under 12 minutes to go. But Carson Beck still in there. Beck 21 of 26. 288 yards. He's thrown 2 touchdowns and his first 2 interceptions in a Miami uniform tonight. Third down. And Tony down there. I beg your pardon. That is Johnson down the middle of the field, streaking along the sideline. And he will step out of bounds. Tony Johnson, the transfer from Cincinnati. They were very high on him when they got him in the portal.
Yeah, this is a great job by Beck. Usually in this situation, third and short, you're looking for the hitch to Tony. They decided not to go there. Go to the second level. Find him for the large game.
Couple of big games today in the Southeastern Conference. A wild one, Florida and Georgia today. Georgia winning in overtime. After that big gain, 339 passing yards. Now for Beck, that is his best in terms of yardage in 3 starts with the Canes. I said Georgia, Florida. It was Georgia, Tennessee, I beg your pardon, with Georgia winning in overtime at Rocky Top today. And tonight you got LSU taking on Florida.
Yeah, it's tough when Miami gets these explosive plays because now they're in the area of the field where they can just pin their ears back and just run the football. And they've been doing a great job of that all night.
They've got some backup offensive linemen that have checked in the game. And now they got the horses back in there. For a minute there, I thought Maui Noah was out of the game. He has come back on. And they hand it off. Short of the first down, but brings up third down and short. Under 10 minutes to go.
You still got 10 minutes. You know, South Florida, you got to try to do your best to maybe limit to 3 or find a way to get a turnover. You know that Miami may not go to the air. They might, in case if they want to just really put the dagger in this game. Down here, you can see some fades to Malachi or Lofton.
So a timeout is called by Miami, stopping the clock with 9:20 to go. So let's take a look at our progressive player of the game.
Let's go, Mark Fletcher Jr.
Why not?
He's out there the game. He's been doing everything. He's been running down the field. He's been running people over. 100-yard game, his third career 100-yard game. He's been receiving the football. He's been picking up pass protection. And he's just been the thunder, the energy for this offense.
Yeah, he had a 38-yard touchdown. He had that touchdown from inside the 15. Averaging 8 yards per carry. Our player of the game sponsored by Progressive. Get coverage you can count on with home and auto at progressive.com.
I know it's cliche and old school, but like the run game, to have that, it's such a weapon. It allows you to do so many things on the offense. And so the fact that he was able to do that, it balanced everything out.
Fletcher looking for more. He has more. He's sniffing a third touchdown in this game. That's enough for a first down. First and goal inside the 5 for Miami. Well, you know, you look around at the top 5 teams, top 10 teams in the country. Ohio State is ranked #1 after winning the season opener against Texas. And, of course, they are the defending national champions. They'll have big games coming up, including Penn State, which will be in Columbus. And Penn State is currently ranked #2 in the country. Fletcher will not be denied, or did he? Waiting on the signal, and they say touchdown. Wondering whether his hip had hit the ground before the ball broke the plane. It is ruled a touchdown for Fletcher, his third of the game. What a night for Mark Fletcher Jr.
You can see the push from the offensive line. The legs keep churning. Fighting to get those extra yards like he's doing all night. Receivers are blocking on the perimeter. Everyone is pushing everybody to the end zone. That lets you know the kind of team you have when everyone's blocking like that.
I think they're taking a look at this. We wondered in real time, did his hip make contact with the ground before the ball had broken the plane? Not going to be able to tell from this angle whether or not the ball had broken the plane yet or not.
Yeah, his bottom hit, the ball didn't cross yet. Both referees on each end zone had their own perspective. One didn't see that from his side. The other ref obviously didn't signal yet.
Yeah, looks like his fanny hits the ground there, and the ball is not across the plane. So I'm sure they're just going to spot it at the half-yard line and turn around and hand it off to Fletcher.
After further review, the runner was down with the ball at the half-yard line.
I would imagine Fletcher's going to come right back. Yep, here he comes. You got to give him the ball, don't you?
Yeah, you got a little breather, you know. Get him his point. Get him his 3 TDs.
Yeah, you got to give him the ball.
He did all the work today. Give him his 3 TDs.
No doubt about it.
The one thing that stands out about this USF defense is a lot of arm tackling on that drive. Guys are just trying to throw their shoulder, and he's just going to run right through that, which is why he's been so productive today.
I mean, this has to be a run for Fletcher, right? I mean, the Cats run for 121 yards in his game. Got the fullback leading the way here. And then they jump.
Every flag knowing the man got thrown out there.
False start. Offense number 78. 5-yard penalty. It's still second down.
That's Matthew McCoy, the redshirt junior from St. Augustine, left guard. There might have been two guys that did it. McCoy was lined up on the right side of the line of scrimmage here, to the right of the center. He is their starting left guard. All right, well, now on second and goal from the 5, outside the 5, are you still going to give it to Fletcher? They are. No, it's Beck on the quarterback keeper, and he is banged down hard at the 1-yard line by Fred Gaskin.
All right, let's not run that anymore.
Yeah, I wonder about that. Man. That's on the right shoulder there, too.
And that's not a little quarterback. That's a big guy that he knocked down like that.
I'm with you. I'm not so sure that plays in the playbook ever again. The way Beck in now blown dead. Ball was fumbled, but it was blown dead before the play ever started. Is this another false start on Miami? This is the stuff that Mario Cristobal talked about with us. He said you can always find these little things.
Game, defense.
Oh, it's against the defense. Okay.
To the goal. Third down.
But he just said those are the kinds of things. He said last year, at the end of the year, we were doing things just to beat ourselves when they lost 3 of their last 4. And he said it just can't happen.
Yeah, I'm sure fans are wondering, like, delay a game, like, what happened? You know, there's a chance where maybe the movement, defense is trying to draw off the offense off sides, trying to get them to false start, either barking at the count or maybe moving too fast to get them moving.
They're going to throw it. And it is a touchdown to Shamar Brown out of the backfield. And that makes it 41-12 Miami. And they have brought their A game here tonight on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, it was time to attack the perimeter. South Florida was ready to take away the A and the B guys. They was like, you know, we're just going to run bootleg to the outside.
9 plays, spanning 75 yards, chewing up nearly 6 minutes. One would imagine that'll be the last we see of Carson Beck and the starters here tonight, leading 42-12. All Hurricanes here at Hard Rock Stadium tonight.
You're a pro, you know.
Word on the streets, I make it look easy. No flattering, cool, way too easy. Word on the street is I make it look easy. I'm actually smooth, it's far too easy. Word on the street is I make it look easy. Too easy.
Next Level dog people give their dogs next level protection with NexGard Plus. One and done monthly parasite protection against fleas, ticks, heartworm disease, roundworms, and hookworms. Used with caution in dogs with a history of seizures or neurologic disorders. Get next level protection with NexGard Plus.
All right, 42-12, Miami in front. So the Cinderella will have the clock strike midnight here tonight for the USF Bulls. But hey, I mean, what a start to the season. It takes away nothing from what they've been able to do. They just ran into one of the top teams in the country here tonight that played like it.
Yeah, that just tells me that Miami's for real. They're the real deal. On all sides of the football, they're the real deal.
We'll talk about some of the other teams in the top 10 here. And, you know, it's a long way to go in this season, clearly, but Miami is the class right now of the Atlantic Coast Conference. And a big reason why, transfer from Georgia, the quarterback Carson Beck. I mean, he's a whole package.
Carson Beck has been outstanding. Despite throwing 2 interceptions, he still was 82% completion percentage, 340 yards, 3 TDs, and he also ran touched on it as well. He's been phenomenal tonight. Everything that you expected. The interceptions were unfortunate. One of them was tipped by his own player. The other one, you know, he got hit. You know, give credit to South Florida, but Carson, man, he's been phenomenal tonight.
He has thrown for well over almost 800 yards. He's thrown now 7 touchdowns against 2 interceptions. Byron Brown has a man wide open down the middle of the field, and great recovery time. It looked like that ball was, I'm not sure if it was dropped or whether the Miami defender knocked it out of Nimrod's hands. Let's take a look.
I mean, Poirza did a great job by playing the hands. No panic in his eyes at all. He just ran straight to the receiver. When the receiver put his hands out, great job knocking that football down. Perfect timing.
Zechariah Poyser. Here's Isaac. Or I beg your pardon, Norton gets chopped down. Number 5, not number 15. Cartavius Norton.
Told you, these DBs are hitting, okay?
Oh, yeah.
And the secondary is not small. I think they're all 6'2", 6 foot, 6'1". This is a tall, physical, fast secondary.
They were so good in that season opener against Notre Dame. 7 new starters from a year ago. They had a couple of takeaways. They held Notre Dame to 314 total yards. Nimrod still on his feet down the sideline, takes a big hit. And over there talking about it is Bryce Fitzgerald, the freshman from Miami. Had his first career pick in the win over Bethune-Cookman. They really like his future. He'll be a starter here next year.
Yeah, he's somebody who's willing to play the deep pass, who's willing to come up and hit. He's shown that several times already.
First down pass attempt incomplete. But, you know, you take a look in the AP college rankings. Talked about Ohio State number 1, Penn State number 2. Then you have LSU. Had a win against Clemson early in the year. Oregon number 4. Oregon undefeated, going to 3-0 today. They do not play Ohio State this year. After playing them twice last year, they will play Penn State during the regular season. And then Miami, number 5. That is Booker Pickett, Jr.
And now they're rolling the D-line. Let the young guys get some. Let everybody else get some. They're rolling in everybody. I mean, it's great. These are the Miami teams I remember. The next guy up was just as effective.
Yep. Pickett, a redshirt freshman out of Wharton High School in Tampa. And, of course, that is where the University of South Florida is located. Little screen and a nice one. Eccles. Jonathan Eccles, first time we've called his name tonight. Some of the players not used as frequently have checked into the game for both teams. Miami, virtually all of its backups in now on defense. See Dante Simpson has checked in there. So too is Justin Scott. And a bunch of backups in that secondary. Spinning is Eccles, still on his feet, gang tackled by these young Hurricanes.
And that's the picture you want right there. You saw nothing but orange jerseys. You couldn't even see the receiver because they just came over.
Well, those were the top 2 things that Corey Heatherman talked to us about. Their first-year defensive coordinator came over here from Minnesota last year. He said, number 1, communication. By far, by far. And then he said, but number 2, swarming to the football. He said, I want our team, I want 5, 6, 7 guys unloading. Heatherman has had an incredible journey me. He's a native of Massachusetts, which is not known as a big football state. Not on the high school level. Gerard Pringle Jr. into the game. Nice carry. Penalty flag is down. But Heatherman.
Holding. Offense number 5. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
You know, he was brought in by Cristobal, former quarterback at Fitchburg State. He has traveled literally all over the world to try and become a coach. Austria, Germany, Springfield College, Old Dominion, Pace University, Maine for 4 years. James Madison under Kurt Signetti, now the coach at Indiana. And then he went and worked under Greg Schiano at Rutgers.
Yep.
And I think that's where he caught a few people's eye. Went to Minnesota last year, and they ranked 5th in total defense, 9th in scoring defense in the country last year for the Gophers. 2 flags come in. This might be roughing the passer. And the backup, Emory Williams, took a vicious hit.
Roughing the passer. Defense number 10. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
It's Ira Singleton. You don't want to see that. It came in low.
Yeah, can't attack the quarterback's legs.
Wasn't a dirty hit.
It wasn't, yeah. I mean, he went down, tried to make the play. Yeah, going back to Heatherman about his philosophy, you mentioned communication, swarm, physical. You really know that it's connecting or resonating with the players when you watch the young guys, the backups. If they're displaying that on the film, that not only means you're doing a great job coaching, it also means that the starters, the veterans, are doing a good job displaying that as well.
And that's what we heard from both of these coaches, really, about how proud the head coach is talking about how proud they are of their teams and how, you know, the veteran players have really sort of taken the whole team on to themselves. We heard Alex Golish talking about, you know, they have 33 seniors, and he said our best players are our seniors. Now, Miami, they're getting contributions from a lot of youngsters as well. Wonder if he went across the line of scrimmage here. Did not see a flag down. There is not a flag down. So apparently he still had 1 foot behind the line of scrimmage, and he dumps it off. Big time tight end future ahead for Luka Gilbert. He had 1 foot still behind the line of scrimmage when he threw the ball. That Gilbert, I saw him play high school last year from just outside of Cincinnati. Ranked as the 3rd best tight end in the country coming out of high school. 88. Remember that name here in Miami. Stay tuned for the final 2 minutes of the game, presented by the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. The U rolling on the home turf tonight.
Hey, Marty, I got us what's known as a luxury box.
Presented by the Active Cash Credit Card from Wells Fargo. Carson Beck getting it done. Go ahead, Will.
Yeah, they've been letting it go through the air, and they've been outstanding on the ground. Complimentary football at its finest. Yeah, he's been great. He is definitely the prototypical quarterback. 6'4". I'm telling you what, I'm going to say he's 6'5". When I saw him in person, I'm 6'1", okay? And he was towering. That's a big quarterback.
Yeah, he really is. I don't know if it was the Georgia uniforms, the color scheme. Here's Williams trying to get into the end zone. By the way, that was brought to you by the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. Be a 2%er. Earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases. Terms apply. Miami giving their backups. You know, I like the fact when backup players get a chance to play, you give them a chance to do something positive. You don't have to throw the ball every play.
Correct.
But these guys bust their tail in practice every day. They ought to be able to go out and compete.
Well, yeah, I mean, they do go through the entire roster. But, yeah, it's a good opportunity for them to get reps, see what they can do, put stuff on tape for them.
And that'll be a touchdown. Gerard Pringle Jr. So they're not trying to humiliate anybody here. They're just giving these guys a chance to play.
Listen, they're just playing football.
Told you Pringle, a redshirt freshman out of Tampa, Florida, went to Armwood High School. So they're getting a chance to play against the team that maybe his kids they go over and check out from time to time. Bert Auburn, who transferred in from Texas. Yes, indeed, he's excited. Hey, those guys practice every day, too.
Yeah, you see the line just doing a great job opening up those lanes for Pringle to get in for 6.
Tell you what, to give it up to our entire crew here today. I mean, it has been a long 24, 48 hours. We had our truck involved in a traffic situation up in northern Florida. I mean, Bill standing there soaking wet. Looking good, though, my man. Looking good. Look at him. Look at the big man.
There you go.
Steve down there, you okay, buddy? He was up and at him early this morning, coming over here, getting everything ready. Hey, that guy's out of the crew. Actually, it might be one of our crew members, come to think of it.
How would you like to be in that outfit all day, Tom?
Brent down there.
There he is.
Davey Fields looking good. On the handheld, he's carrying that thing around. But thanks to our entire crew. They busted their tail to get everything set up and ready to go. Truck was late getting here. Jose, mi amigo. And Hugo.
What's up, Hugo?
How we doing, Hugo? Looking good.
I say for South Florida, this is definitely a tough loss, especially based on what you have done prior.
Yeah.
I would say looking at this game in the summer, you kind of thought Miami would. Oh, what's up, Jim?
Hello, Jimmy. There he is back there.
You kind of thought Miami would do this, but based on what happened, you're like, okay, South Florida, they have a chance. But this tells me 2 things. It lets me know Miami is the real deal. They're legit. These are the way they're playing. This is how I remember the U.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much a slow death for their opponents.
Yeah.
All over the town.
You know, this guy right here is an interesting story. Gaston Moore. He played for Coach Golish in Tennessee. He was a backup there for the Volunteers. He had graduated last year. He had another year of eligibility, but he wasn't going to play. He got a job, a good job, out in the working world. And he got a phone call at the last minute by Golish saying, hey, if you want to play one more year, I'd love to have you come in, be the backup guy. Here he is.
Come to Florida. come down here to Florida, man.
Hey, you got plenty of time to go get a real job. Yeah. He had already graduated from Tennessee.
You can get paid now, too, football, so.
That's right.
There he is.
Those guys were down there when it was pouring down rain. And the end of the first quarter and the beginning of the second quarter before the game was stopped due to lightning. Looked like that slipped out of the fingers of Moore coming out of his right hand.
I'll tell you what, if I am every other team in the American Athletic Conference, I am worried when this team comes to town.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. This is a really good football team.
That was Chuck Brantley who went down. Right there, number 19. Lost his footing. And he looked like he injured his shoulder or something when he went down, falling down. So hopefully that's nothing serious for him. Charles Chuck Brantley. And we are into the final. That might be the final play of the game. So So again, we thank our entire crew, including our director, Lonnie Dale, our producer, Scott Snyder.
Scoot. Robbie in the booth.
Yeah, the big bosses are here for this one. Well, the biggest game we've ever had here on CW. Unfortunately, it was interrupted by bad weather. Nonetheless, it was great to be down here, and what an impressive outing for Mario Cristobal's Miami Hurricanes, going to 3-0 on the year. And, man, they are going to be a handful as each and every game of this season rolls on, Mr. Blackman. So for Will, Wes Bryant, and our entire crew, Tom Brenneman, thanks so much for watching. After the break, it's out to Greensboro for the PBR Team Series. Good.
I arrive in